Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, I've just been feeling very, very down for
Yeah,
quite a while,
yeah.
and not quite sure, not quite sure how to deal with it. I mean, I know there's a lot of natural stuff out there, um, but I was suggested to maybe go on antidepressants, and I'm really mixed about it. Um, I really prefer to do something natural, but I've been feeling so low energy
Yeah.
that that I'm thinking that I would rather. I'm almost feeling like I'd rather do something maybe drastic or something different that works. I know there's stuff out there that's actually better than that, and I've actually tried in the past. I've tried something called ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Um, a couple years back, and that helped for quite a period of time. I only did that once in a group ceremony.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking, instead of going through this medical model of, where they try to push these drugs on you, I feel that maybe some of these natural substances that partially help you get past your ego they'll may assist to get through some of this depression. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just a little lost because I don't want to get stuck or ruin my brain on these, artificial substances.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I've, yeah, go
so
ahead.
just if you just shut your eyes, pal, and just just become aware of your body. So just become aware of your torso
Okay.
and your feelings of your body. And what is it that you would really like me to answer? And try to be genuine. Try not to just say, go into the ego, what you'd like to seem like or what you'd like to come across to as me. What would you really like me on a really deep level to answer you?
I'm wondering if, having a hard time putting it into words. I'm just wondering if you know if maybe raising my vibration through different means would can maybe might be the best route or uh,
So let's just go deeper than that. That's again the surface
okay,
level. So just go deeper. So go and put your attention in your stomach. So just
okay.
breathe into your stomach. And what is it you would really like me to answer? What would you love me to tell you? If you could have anything, if you can imagine anything, what is it you'd like me to tell you? Any answer, anything.
If trying to get over the ego or lessen the ego would improve my situation.
Oh no, no, I want you to answer as if you're me. So what
Oh,
I
okay.
want you is, sorry, I'm not very clear sometimes. I would like you to tell me what you'd really like Lisa to say, not like what you would like to hear from me like that, but
Hmm.
like I would say, um, take the drugs or not take the drugs. What would you really like me to say? So you have to go really into your feelings,
Yeah, it's
and it
pretty numbed
doesn't
out a lot
matter.
of the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just numbed out, is it? You can't feel it. You don't have.
I'm just confused. It feels
Yeah,
confused,
yeah. So,
confused.
so then you feel confused. So therefore, what you do is you seek the answer in someone else, because in your body you feel confused, and that's not a bad thing or a wrong thing in any way. But I'm just showing you how the seeker works. So you feel confused. So therefore, you ask for the answer outside. But even if I were to tell you an answer, you'd still take it into yourself and be in a state of confusion, because that's the way the story of you is going at the moment. Like you feel confused by everything.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't feel I can trust myself or
Yeah.
rely on myself.
But that's exactly what you'll project onto other people as well. You go on the drugs, you'll doubt them, and you'll believe in them, you'll doubt them, you'll believe in them. It's your state of mind at the moment, so everything is confused. What is it you would like to happen?
Yeah, I'm. I think with not think, but I feel that in my feelings, I feel there are natural ways that would work much better. That are not traditional. I feel that might be a better route to go. That's how I'm genuinely feeling. But I don't know where to go. Um, and I feel that I can't trust my own feelings,
Yeah,
and I can't rely on my own feelings because they don't feel very that they're giving me accurate information. They're distorted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hear it.
And it's just frustrating.
Yeah,
I'm just drained. I'm tired of
yeah,
being stuck, so contracted.
yeah,
It's it's taking all the life force out of me. I mean, I don't this contraction is constantly there,
yeah.
and I don't feel alive. And I'm really just want to just want to get rid of the contraction. I naturally feel in my feelings that taking anything else will numb me out more instead of allow me to live, more vibrant, raise my energy.
It is all about becoming more alive, and the reason that you've become depressed, um, ultimately, like what the doctor says, there's a chemical imbalance. But the reason that there's been a chemical imbalance is because your parents have passed it on to you, but it's a pattern of cutting off from what you feel. And your
Yeah,
parents will have genetically given it to you, and then they'll have taught you to keep cutting off. And then what happens is you become dead. In order to have motivation, you have to have passion to do something. And in order to have passion to do something, you have to feel alive. Like you have to feel your feelings, all of them, the good and the bad. Like I don't have to convince Khaleesi into hunting. She naturally wants to do it. But the thing is our whole society is like that. And some people manage to carry on working and being productive because they still believe that they're going to get love from their job, or that they're going to get love from having a certain amount of money. So they still have passion in that.
yeah.
So what they're
Um,
advising you to do is they're advising you to take the drugs in order to get the serotonin going again. Now I'm not going to give you any advice on this because I can't. I'm not trained in that. I can't give you advice there. This isn't something that I can say do or don't do in either way. It's it's impossible for me to say it. But what I can do is I can point out to what's an illusion and try to guide you back to who you truly are and to that freedom that's in you. And then eventually what should happen is the answer will begin to appear for you. The body will move in the right direction. If you do want an alternative natural therapist, my friend uses one that's American, who has OCD, I think, so she uses this natural medicine. But I can send you that link, but I'm not going either way, just so you have all the options around you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That would be useful if you could send that link.
Yeah,
I'd be interested.
yeah.
I'm also just any based on maybe your experience in terms of natural ways or ways that you maybe to raise vibrations or just to get that life flow energy kind of.
I'm the opposite way round. I don't think that I need to give you something in order for you to be free. I think that I need to take things away. I'm
Okay.
like the horrible mother. Take away the minus program. So the
So,
way that I see it is that if you keep peeling away what's not true, then the freedom reveals itself, and that energy will dissipate. And if your body needs to go through a process of rebalancing itself chemically, then it will do that. But if you take away the illusion, then the body will naturally go in that direction, because all the illusory ideas um, will be removed. So I can point to you, that I can begin to show you, and this isn't going to be like, I can't say it all in one evening, but I can begin to show you how the illusion is appearing in your body. So at the moment, what happens is you feel contracted and tight, and what you feel on the surface level is confused. So your body is indicating to you confusion. So therefore what you'll do is you'll try to satisfy that confusion, but you'll never satisfy it, because the body and the mind are confused. So it will just keep reproducing confusion. So even if you find a conclusion about something, the body will keep coming up with being confused. And some people can go the whole life feeling confused and needing to follow others and needing to follow rules because they feel lost. It's a dynamic that appears, and it often appears, I think, when the feelings are very numb and cut off, because you're not having your natural impulses that's telling you which way to go. And it's so much more complicated than that, because when you begin to explore it, you'll begin to notice that there's victim in there, there's feeling vulnerable, there's afraid of feeling vulnerable, there's disempowerment, feeling disempowered to life. There's all these feelings that are underneath the confusion, and it just makes you feel stuck. And the way that I speak is that I think that you need to go into that confusion rather than trying to find a solution for that conclusion. On the surface level, you could make a choice between taking the drugs or not taking the drugs, or taking the natural remedy on the surface level. But I would recommend, while doing that, is that you examine what the confusion is and why it's coming up. I would say that most probably underneath that you feel very disempowered, and this disempowerment doesn't allow you to enjoy doing your work, and then by not working or by not enjoying your work you feel even more disempowered. I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but I tend to be very sensitive on energies, and I know I can't see you, and I'm doing this totally blind, and I can't believe that I'm so bolshious to do this, and you're totally prepared, if it doesn't ring true, to chuck it out. But I would say that you will be experiencing a lot of pain in the top bit of your stomach, and you'll be feeling disempowered by life. And this is where your lack of energy comes. And this is the cut-off, and then on the surface you just feel confused because your impulses aren't moving the body, they aren't doing things, they aren't responding to things.
yeah, I would agree with that
You can
very
you
much
can
so.
also argue, like I can imagine that I seem like quite a powerhouse. I'm like, you're disempowered, and then you're like, no, I don't, I feel empowered. So
No,
you're
I think you're spot on. I mean, I've been disconnected with, I've felt a lot of emotional pain in the in the solar plexus area,
Yeah.
and it's just
And so
you know
this will be so deep then. If it is disempowerment, and I don't mean to push this on you, but let's just go with it for a moment. If it is disempowerment, then it will have more than likely started with when you were young, and you'll be able to see a lot of that disempowerment in relationships, in the way that you look at the world, and there'll be lots of other things. There'll be victim story coming and feeling not good enough, and ultimately it's down to lack. But you might notice that within relationships there's disempowerment. Often it always comes up in relationships, these sorts of things, these deep issues, or feeling disempowered to the opposite, well, I'm being assumptuous, I was going to say to the opposite sex, but to whatever partner that you have, like feeling disempowered to them, or feeling disempowered to your work situation, feeling disempowered by money. So even when you get money, you feel like in a way it's being taken away. And then when there's an identification with that, then what the person's trying to do is always trying to find power. But then by trying to find power, it always sees the disempowerment. So it builds this feeling smaller and smaller and smaller. And then it feels uncomfortable, so it just cuts it and makes it feel dead. And you don't know how to move. You just feel contracted ball of energy, and you don't even know how to begin to undo that. You know that when you were a child you didn't feel like that, and now you're like, society doesn't talk about this, it ignores it. If you're not happy, it's your fault. It says in the American, this is what society says in the American Constitution, that it's every human's birthright to seek for happiness. And so therefore, if you haven't found happiness, then it's something that you've done wrong. So society doesn't empower this way of thinking at all. It's your job to find happiness, and if you've not found it, then you're bad. So then it's another feeling crushed. Basically what waking up is, on the bodily level, it's the human becoming totally human and totally itself, whatever colour that might be. I'm not talking about an enlightened person that sits on a rock for the rest of its life, or meditates, or is really kind or compassionate. I'm talking about that body and its feistiness, like as a child. So if you were the leader, then you'll go back to being the leader. If you were the one that always, or this type of character, you'll go back to that. What the seeking's done, what the separation's done, what the illusion's done, is it's always taught you to not be yourself, to trust others. You can't trust yourself, trust others, to be someone else than you are, to try to be better. And so the illusory you becomes something that you don't even want to be. You don't even like the illusory you most of the time, but you've become somebody that the outside, your parents, and genetically there's an influence as well, has taught you to be. All these rules, and you've become more and more encased in it, rather than just acting and trusting that impulse. You know, when you feel empowered and when you're not separate, and that it begins to even out, and then the energy of the body becomes the energy of the body, you become yourself on a human level, then there's a sense of feeling power in yourself, like you trust your feelings. You know, if you get angry and you shout at someone, that's what's meant to happen, and you trust it. It doesn't mean you don't apologize afterwards, and then afterwards you say I'm sorry, but you trust yourself. But it's a natural thing. There's a natural trust that comes out, a natural conviction. It doesn't mean that you don't argue or get into messy situations, but there is a natural flow to it, and it's not questioning. The distrust, the confusion, all comes from always listening to the outside of what you should be, always giving your power away. And this is in the separate story. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can resonate with that.
Yeah.
I really living in my head, because so disconnected from the emotions, and I don't even know who I am on a genuine level. I'm never. It's hard to be genuine because I'm so disconnected from genuine emotions.
Yeah, and being genuine, what it is it doesn't mean a fixed character in the way. So it doesn't mean. So we sometimes think that what being genuine is a fixed person of what they're always like. But being genuine is being true to what's being felt in every moment. So And another way you could say it is a collapse of that separate entity that's going in time. So collapse of that one that's trying to control in time. And then it just becomes as it is in the moment. It just is responding as it does in the moment. And that's the genuineness. That's being genuine. And it's not something you do. It's something that you are. That is your true essence. It's just covered by something that you've been taught you have to be. And a lot of the time in waking up, there has to be an exploration of what's not true. And this is really intense because the illusion is really strong because it's an energetical sensation. So you know now you feel all that tension in your body. That's the effect of feeling separate. That's suffering. And
Yeah.
basically, when you're yourself, you're totally present. There's total presence, and everything comes out of that presence, of that emptiness, of that boundlessness, directly, spontaneously from that boundlessness. So it just comes out. And it's not coming out for this removed image, that's this removed sensation of someone that's moving in time.
Yeah.
So right now, if you just shut your eyes and just move your attention up and down the body and know that that person that's moving the attention, that one that feels like you that's moving its attention, isn't actually who you are. You're the stillness which that appears in. You're that aliveness which that person that's moving its attention's appearing in. But that person can move its attention if I say that, because it's like a responding robot. But that's not actually who you are. You aren't that small person that's moving the attention and feels like it's making choices. That's appearing in stillness. But while you feel identified, let that person just become aware of what it feels. So what's actually being felt right now? Try and describe to me on a very simple, basic level what's actually being felt in the body.
There's, some anger
Yeah? Where do you feel that anger?
towards the around the stomach
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Hopelessness
Yeah. And where do you feel the hopelessness?
is also around the stomach area.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a feeling or not, but just feeling like inferior.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
um, like I'm just over. Like something else is just this contraction. It's just so draining. It's
Yeah.
life draining. There's no life. It's just all contraction that I just wanted.
Yeah.
It's just sucking the energy out of everything.
Yeah. So let's go to that anger.
Yeah.
Can you feel that anger now?
A little bit.
Yeah. What's the most uncomfortable thing in your body at the moment? The overall contraction.
Just anger towards myself.
Yeah. What do you feel angry about?
It's just I think just this like of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let it be there. I'm not going to ask you to expose any more because it's not a private session between us two. Even in a way it is, because there's nobody else there. But just really go into that feeling of feeling the anger and the dislike of yourself, and let it be there 100%. Stop trying to keep it out. Just let it be there. Don't try and convince yourself of anything. Don't try and talk yourself out of it. Just allow yourself to be totally angry at yourself. And really, really go into that anger that you feel. Max it. And know that all of that is appearing in a stillness that's never affected. That person that's allowing that anger is appearing in stillness. It's not actually who you truly are. Who you truly are has always been free.
Yeah, I feel a little sense, a tiny sense of that. It's like my mind is really fighting,
Yeah. Is fighting the anger or fighting itself?
fighting the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, just say 100% yes to that feeling. The mind's like, no, no. just, just totally let it in. You're allowed to be angry. And you're allowed to be angry with yourself. It's not even a you there to be angry with, but if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And who you
Yeah,
truly are was never affected, but just totally allow that anger to appear. It's all trying to keep it at bay that makes it so bad.
I'm so angry at the contraction almost. I'm like, just want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I'm just, I'm angry at this contraction. It's just frustrating
yeah. I think if you go
with
in,
it. It's like just a sense of peace, you know.
yeah. But if you go into it, you'll begin to realize there's more things that you're angry with than just the contraction. And all that trying to compare it to something, like compare it to not having a contraction, just forget about it. Just be totally contracted now and totally angry for being contracted. None of it can really hurt you, but at the moment you fear it can, so therefore the separate you is pushing it away, trying to get away from it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to be around other people in this state, you know.
Yeah,
I want to put on a facade or a happy face, or it's not acceptable
yeah,
to, and I want to be by myself. It's hard for me to explore this with other people around because of I feel shameful feeling this way. You know, it's hard to feel like this, you know, and around other people.
yeah.
So it's everyone's expecting, you know, to be bubbly and upbeat and
But
whatever.
you
It's
know,
just,
you know your image of other people. That's your own image, which you produce in order to make yourself small and wrong and bad. This is the illusion. This is the way the illusion works. There isn't ever other people there. If you don't think about them, if there's not this energetic feeling of other people, they don't exist. There's only boundlessness. So we create other people to make us a certain way. So suddenly your mind brings in the other people, and it's just not true.
yeah, it's constant. If
Yeah,
I'm out and about, I am so thinking about other people or what they're thinking of me. It's
yeah.
so constant.
And you
Um,
basically, the reason the mind produces that in order to keep yourself small and disempowered. Because you can only be someone if there is a relationship to another. If there's no relationship to another, you can't be someone. So you produce both worlds. You produce the perpetrator and the perpetrated, the victim. This is why you have to keep exploring that feeling of what the feeling's saying and keep going deeper into it. So you feel angry at the contraction and you feel angry at yourself, and you can keep going deeper. I feel angry at life. You can find it though. Like, try and find everything that you're angry with. Everything in your whole entire life that you've been angry with. Like, let it come out. There's nothing to be afraid of. It feels like that, and while it feels like there is a part of you that you have to reject and hide and push away, you'll always be haunted by it. They used to
Yeah,
say
I've
in
been
Buddhism,
so re
they used to say in Buddhism, it's like the cart after the horse, like the cart following the horse. So where you try to push away half of yourself, it haunts you. You're always afraid of it. You're always trying to get away from it. You're always trying to prove that you're not powerless, that you're not weak. And every time you try to, you feel more. The fixation goes onto it. You feel ashamed of what people think. You want to be another image in their imagination, but you're producing the idea of what they think. It's all in the story of you.
yeah, I've been rejected in the past, and I closed down a big part of myself because I felt there was something inherently wrong, flawed with
Yeah,
me. So I cut off from that.
yeah. And that haunts you because you cut off from it. It haunts you. So just keep exploring those sensations. And you can say, like when you're by yourself, like say out loud how much that hurt you to be rejected. And what's the worst things about you, because there aren't bad things about you. There isn't good and bad. This is all made up. But what are the bad things that you think about you? And just let it out. Stop trying to hide from it and pretend it's not there. These thoughts tap away at you. You know, you're trying to produce this good image of yourself, and sometimes it's working and there's lots of pleasure. But these thoughts, because this is, while you're having a good image of yourself, the dark thoughts of the bad image of yourself are like knocking at the door. Let me in, let me in. So secretly, while you're producing a good image and putting all your effort into thinking highly of yourself, you secretly fear that you're bad and that there's something wrong with you. All the time it's happening like this. So if you feel like you're not lovable or not good enough or there's something wrong with you, then you might try super hard in relationships. And by trying all the time super hard to please the other, you're constantly reinforcing that you're not enough and that there's something wrong with you. And then in a way you begin to hate the other for feeling like that. You originally loved them so much and you wanted to give them, but then you begin to hate them for having put so much energy in them and given to them so much.
Yeah, I, I'm getting a sense of that. I mean, I'm feeling a sense of that as well.
Yeah,
You know, the little bit that I'm able to feel,
yeah,
I do resonate
yeah,
with that as well. I do resonate with it.
yeah.
Um, I don't want to take up too much time, you know, from other people. So I kind of, this is more of the intellectual thing before I guess I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for
That's
your
okay.
help with that.
But also I would recommend to you
It's,
also, you know, going and getting checked out and seeing what you are deficient of. So I can send you this natural therapist, but you could also go to your doctor. That's your decision. But I would also check out what's going on in the body, because after years of living with that contracted energy, it is really unbalancing for the body. And there could be vitamins that help, or lots of different things that help you feel more energized. It's really stressful being somebody separate, especially if you've got very low self-esteem and lots of stories of feeling very disempowered.
yeah, I feel my health is gonna, if I keep doing this, my health is just gonna keep going down and
Yeah,
down and down because
yeah,
of this.
yeah,
It's gonna lead to nothing positive at all in terms of health.
yeah,
That's why I'm kind of feeling pretty desperate to
yeah,
try and
yeah.
get
I
out of this,
understand.
you know.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I've taken up yoga recently, just very recently. You know, try and maybe release some of that.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah, that sounds
I've
great for the body.
yeah, I have a hard time just being myself around other people, just re feeling whatever I'm feeling around other people. It's very hard for me to do that. Like, I
Yeah,
really have to be alone to
yeah,
go inside, deeply inside.
yeah. That's okay. And then as you get more used to it, eventually it will cross over into feeling with other people. You'll become more and more prepared to be more vulnerable and naked with them. You
Yeah,
don't need
I've
to,
been hurt. I've been hurt so much when I was like that in the past that I've learned to just close off from that.
yeah, yeah,
Just being vulnerable with other people is very hard for me
yeah,
right now. It's very hard.
yeah. You don't need to push anything. But just spend some time alone looking at these feelings that come up.
Yeah. And the last thing I just want to kind of throw out there, this huge lack of connection is just like with from others, feeling disconnected from others is that lack of genuine connection is just so lonely, and it's just eating me up inside. It's making all this
Yeah,
so much more, so much. It's creating a lot of this. It's not living, it's creating a lot of this mm,
yeah,
feeling of non-genuine joy, not
yeah,
lack of life energy, because I always by myself, or when I'm with others, I'm not connected at all. I
yeah.
just,
It
yeah,
it basically is homing in on the essence of separation is that total feeling of loneliness. What you've always been taught in life is that company is intellectual connection, is physical connection, but actually company is the collapse of feeling separate, and then everything is you, everything is that, um, and you feel disconnected uh, because that's really tight at the moment, and so you're looking for the connection, but you can't find it because you're so cut off. And it's really terrifying, that feeling of feeling lonely, that you're in relationship to this big wide world and you're totally alone.
yeah, that's where I'm feeling so desperate to sort of. That's why I had the need to kind of maybe just talk to you at least to see, get a little
Yeah,
perspective on that,
yeah.
because it feels
It
so
might be a
desperate.
good idea if there's non-duality groups around in your area to go to them, because then you can speak to them about that.
Hmm.
But also go to your doctors to get your health checked out, get to see what they recommend.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So, um,
Yeah, and I'll send you that link as well. But thank you for being
okay.
so prepared to be so vulnerable and honest. Even though you have this feeling where you can't be genuine, there was this um, ability to be really vulnerable in this conversation and just say what you're feeling, which is really beautiful. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Thank
give
thank
yourself such
yeah.
a hard time. But that's the way of it when the seeker's there.
Yeah. Well,
Sweet.
thank you. I
Thanks.
didn't, yeah. And thanks again.
With pleasure.
I'll definitely re-listen to it again just in the future
Yeah.
to get that going too.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you. I'll
Thanks.
let somebody else
Okay.
be able to talk then.